there like
There's a, till the 8th.
okay,
October the 8th is the drop dead date.
okay.
But it's just the draft, guys. Even if you're not finished, turn it in, get feedback. It's the final, I'm gonna automatically give everybody who turns that in 10 points.
Cool.
You don't have to have it finished. You automatically get that. Are we doing okay? But when you turn in the second time, I grade it. So what you're looking for on this one is feedback. Yeah, I'm at a 7.
It's through WebCT, right?
Yeah, you're gonna be turning in on WebCT. And I do have some papers for y'all at the end of class, but I know better than to give them to you now.
Yeah.
My question is on the assessments.
Yeah, yeah, I've got them.
Okay, cool.
I can't give them to you now, I know better. Is there anything, oh God, it's
Well,
cold.
I have
Yes, my dear.
for the, if we redid them, I sent it to you, the email from WebCT.
But you didn't give me the original copies?
Oh,
Yeah, and so I need those originals back. When I go to regrade, I need to look at the
you need
originals.
this, right?
Yeah, I need that back. So you just put it back, just put a little note on there, gave it back to you so that you could compare it to my originals. Okay? This class today, have you already started? Hallelujah. The class we're gonna do today, guys, and this is notes, because I'm gonna be giving you a lot of information. The class we're gonna do today is on science literacy, and it's using trade books to teach science. This is how you get around the principal telling you, you have to teach literacy and math, and you can't teach anything else. Well, there's ways to get around that by doing certain things, and I'm going to show you one of those today. By the way, I want to add to you, how many have gotten your NSTA journals already? Okay, I want you to go online to NSTA. In the summer of this last year, they published one of the Science and Children journal. I can't remember whether it's June or July, but one of them evaluates what they call trade books, children's books, and tells you which ones are the best ones to use to teach science. Now, you can't go back and get that older journal, but you have access to it electronically because of your NSTA membership. So you can go and print out a list of some of the trade books you might want to use. One of the things that I do is look specifically for trade books that are appropriate for our part of the country, the Southwest, and a lot of times unique to New Mexico. So I'm going to be sharing one with you today, and I want you to kind of think of yourselves as students who are sitting in a circle, and you're reading to them, because I know that you can do this. And this particular trade book is called In the Small, Small Pond, and it's written by Denise Fleming. I have found that Denise Fleming does a number of these little books that are particularly appropriate for K to about 2. As they get older, there are other things that are more appropriate for them. In the Small, Small Pond. The other nice thing about Denise's books is that her illustrations are really nice. In the Small, Small Pond, wiggle, jiggle, tadpoles wriggle. Wouldn't now be a really good time to talk about this with the kids since there's tadpoles everywhere? Have y'all noticed that? Been over to the Acequias or anywhere? And where there's a flood, there's tadpoles in all of them. Waddle, wade, geese parade. Hover, shiver, wings quiver. Drowse, doze, eyes close. Lash, lunge, heron's plunge. Splitter, split. splatter, minnows scatter. Circle, swirl, whirligigs twirl. Sweep, swoop, swallow, scoop. Sorry, I forgot the words. Click, clack, claws crack. Dabble, dip, tails flip. Splish, splash, paws flash. Pile, pack, muskrats stack. Chill breeze, winter freeze. Cold night, sleep tight, small, small pond. Okay. Now, I could have done this two ways, and I'm going to go back and do it the second way I would have done it. One, you just read to the kids and let them listen. What's particularly appropriate about this book in terms of literacy, do y'all know enough about literacy to be able to pick out what's particularly appropriate for K to 2? What is it? Oh, pressure.
Has a lot of pictures.
Has a lot of pictures, but what about the words?
Alliteration.
Alliteration. They have tremendous alliteration. And they spell the like over and over again. So that's a really important thing for kids this age. This happens to be a Caldecott book. Do y'all know what Caldecott books are?
Yes.
If you choose a book, you want to look for that Caldecott book because that means it's received an award for being one of the best. When I first purchased this book, I really thought it was more appropriate for an area that had more water. I did not think this book would apply to New Mexico students. I found out I was radically wrong. That the children and the adults that I've read this to said, oh yeah, we have all those things here. I did not know that we had all of these different kinds of organisms in our waterways. But we do, and so the kids find it appropriate. So let's look for some things as we go through that would help us to say things to the kids, and we could decide whether or not we wanted to say to the kids, if you have a question, stop me and ask the question. So you may want to do it that way, not the way I did it at the beginning. Again, so we're going in a small, small pond, Denise Fleming. By the way, it doesn't identify who did the drawings, so we would have to find that out. Okay, in the small, small pond, what do you see a picture of?
The frog jumping in the pond. And a
Frogs going into the pond. What do you see in addition to that?
little boy putting his hands in the water.
Yeah, a little, well, you can't really tell. It's kind of, whether it's a little boy or it's a little girl, but it's a child. You can clearly tell that. Wiggle, jiggle, tadpoles, wriggle. What do you see? Tadpoles. What else?
Or a big frog.
A really big frog. You're going to find the frog is thematic. On every page, you'll see the frog. I don't know how long it'll take the kids to figure that out, but eventually they will figure that out.
The tadpoles don't have any legs.
Yeah, they're baby, I mean, they're real tadpoles. They're not at the point where they're sprouting legs. Y'all don't have, I have tadpoles at home in a big pickle jar. Y'all don't have tadpoles? You can have tadpoles in your class. They're kind of, and they're almost easy to find. If you go to any of the places where you've got water piled up, you can see tadpoles in them. Waddle, wade, geese parade. So what do you see?
Mother and baby geese.
Okay, you see geese. Where do kids see the geese right now? Isn't this a good time of the year for geese? They're flying over and they're going over. I drive across Montano Bridge every day, and they're there every day. Okay. But what else do you see? There's a frog peeking up throughout it. Can y'all see it? Now remember, your elementary school kids will be much closer to where you are than I live. Okay. Hover, shiver, wings, quiver. What are we looking at? Dragonflies. We don't ever say the name of them, but they're dragonflies. Okay. Which would bring in insects to the kids. Drowse, doze, eyes close. What do we got? What I want to be when I come back in my second life. A turtle. You know, he just sits there on a log and lets the water go over him. Did you still see the frog? Yeah. You can see the frog as well. And these are probably box turtles, but you could actually have the kids go figure out what kind of turtle those are. If you were looking at second graders and teaching this to second graders, I would say, tell me what kind of turtles those are. First graders are. Kindergartners not. Lash, lunge, herons, plunge. Do we have herons here?
Yes.
Absolutely. Again, if you go across any of the bridges where you're crossing over the water, you're going to see herons. And then that gets into that whole thing, well, what do herons eat? Look at, what's that frog grunt doing? Hmm? What's it trying to do? It's escaping. It's trying to get away from that heron, because what's that heron going to do if it catches it? Yeah, frog legs for dinner. Actually, they don't specify, they have the whole frog. I prefer the legs. Splitter, splatter, minnows, scatter. What do we got pictures of? Yeah, little fish. Kids love that. Little fish. We got any little fish? How many of y'all have fish? You've taken any fish into the classroom? Are you using aquarium fish, or have you tried to get some of the Rio Grande? Huh?
Just a betta fish.
It's just a betta? It's an easy, yeah, because it's really hard to kill a betta. We've been trying for a while at our house. We have tadpoles and a betta. I keep thinking I'm going to put them together to see what happens. But the betta has no chlorine in the water. Circle, swirl, whirligigs, twirl. Anybody ever seen those in the water? Whirligigs? They get in the water and then they spin around like crazy.
The ice skating.
Huh?
They're kind of like ice skate and
Yeah, they're on the surface of the water. This could get into a whole nother discussion if you're a higher level. About third grade, you can talk about water tension or surface tension that allows whirligigs to walk on the surface of the water. Sweep, swoop, swallow, scoop. Brings in the birds. And we definitely have swallows here. By the way, where's our frog? He's still there. So I got a frog. Click, clack, claws, crack. Now this is the thing I thought we didn't have here. Y'all know what that is? Crawdads.
crawdad.
I didn't think we had crawdads here. I grew up in Houston. We have crawdads everywhere. I used to catch them when I was growing up.
We have crawdads.
But you do have crawdads. I didn't realize that until my students told me, yes, we have crawdads. I went, oh, let's go crawdadding. I love crawfish. I just love them.
Not the Rio Grande.
I don't care. I went and had oysters in the middle of the oil spill. You gotta be loyal to your. And besides, you know, it's just, I was raised in Houston. Come on. I've been eating stuff out of the Gulf of Mexico my entire life. If it hadn't killed me yet, it's not going to kill me now. Okay. Dabble, dip, tails, flip. Again, the kids get an opportunity to see both the ducks and the small fish. And then sometimes they'll say, well, I've seen ducks like that. Do they have fish underneath the water? And you let them tell their stories too. Splish, splash, pause, flash. Now, I knew we have raccoons. I know we have raccoons here. But the next one I didn't know we had. Pile, pack, muskrat, stack. I didn't know we had those here, and I have been told officially that muskrats are down on the Bosque. It's not a beaver. It's different than a beaver, but, you know, it's closer to a rat. Chill breeze, winter freeze. Cold night, sleep tight, small, small pond. Now what's happening now? Okay, the frog is going into hibernation.
Hibernate.
Most kids don't realize frogs hibernate. So this would be another thing that you could talk about with your kids, is that some of the animals hibernate. Is the ponds kind of dry up a little bit, or even if they don't dry up, they'll go into the mud underneath. Okay. What I have done in the past with this is use this particular activity for you as the students to engage you and to see how you can develop the ability to use these as tools. What I would do with kindergartners at this point is to have them identify all the animals that were in here, okay? Then I would say to you, okay, remember I teach 5E. This is engage. So what would explore be? Come on, go. In the small pond. They're gonna get a copy of this video, so you don't need to focus on it. Okay, I'm gonna ask you as a group to make a decision about who's your materials person and to go and pick up these things that you need here and your regular materials that you use. And you're gonna come back and what you have is cards at your desk. And you're going to select a group of animals from the cards at your desk, which might be found around the pond from our book. And then you're going to be able to ask the question, what did you pick in your group and why? Now remember, we're focusing on K to 2 for this. So you need to be kind of like a K to 2. What would K to 2 students do? So I only want one person from the table to go and pick up your materials, come back with your cards, and sit down and start that particular set of work. Okay? Thank you very much. Let's go.
Video. We're gonna-